Hey guys, Claire here, and in today's video, we're going to talk about all things Harry and Meghan. From Paris, back to California, then to New York and DC. It's been quite an October for the Duchess of Sussex. Now recently, Meghan shared an Instagram showing a little behind the scenes of her time in New York with Prince Harry, and it really reminded me of Meghan's Instagram before meeting Harry. I used to follow Meghan and really enjoyed seeing little behind the scenes videos of her suits days and take days, so it's wonderful to see her back at it again. Now, I did a video breaking down Meghan's fashion, so if you're interested, you can check that out. I'll leave a link somewhere on the screen. Now, let's get back to it. Before we get back to Meghan and DC, Prince Harry has made a new request to the United Kingdom's government for the restoration of his police security. The Duke of Sussex wrote the new head of security and crime prevention in the UK, requesting a reassessment of the security risks to him and his family. Now, a source for People magazine said that Harry is the son of the king, brother of the heir and fifth in line to the throne, and one of the most famous people in the world. It seems there is an inevitable sense of foreboding hanging over this entire issue. Now, hopefully, she has more sense than her predecessor and restores his security. Now, let's get back to Meghan. The Duchess of Sussex shows no signs of slowing down. Speaking at the Fortune Most Powerful Women Summit in DC, Meghan reflected on leadership, entrepreneurship, and the lessons she's learned from building her brand as ever. Her appearance came as anticipation grows for the With Love Meghan Christmas special, which the Duchess revealed will air next month in November. In a moment that demonstrates her influence, the Associated Press placed her session alongside world leaders and policymakers in its live feed, positioning her as a figure of global interest. Seated with Fortune's editor-in-chief Alison Chantel, Meghan spoke candidly about building from the ground up and finding balance between business, family, and purpose. The Duchess also spoke about the importance of financial literacy for women.
I know financial independence has always been important to you, and you've said that it's the most empowering thing. I agree. And I think all the women in this room who are incredibly hardworking, every job is hard, but these career women also would agree. How do you think about that? Because you had a whole career, very successful before you got married. You're having a whole other career now. What's the importance of financial independence to you?
Well, financial independence is what gives you the freedom of choice. And I think in this day and age, we all need to be able to have our autonomy. That is a huge element of that. Financial literacy, for that reason, is something that I spend a lot of time on, specifically for young girls and their empowerment. And I think as women, especially in a room like this, we can all probably agree that as women, when we're supporting each other for all of these elements that might not necessarily be the ones that people want to hear us talk about, there's nothing taboo. Doesn't need to be anything taboo about talking about our financial independence or our independence overall. And as women, when we support each other, we are not simply supporting each other's lives, we're supporting each other's legacies. And that's the piece that's so powerful. When I'm supporting or investing in another female founder, I am investing in what she is going to do for the culture, for her business, the legacy she's going to leave, how that brand, if it's a CPG brand, is going to show up in people's homes. So it is all fundamentally important, and I don't think it's a conversation we should shy away from. I think it's one that we should really embrace together.
Throughout the conversation, Meghan emphasized the importance of community, financial literacy, and creative independence. Meghan spoke about managing As Ever's online presence carefully, explaining her decision to turn off comments. She also spoke about her complicated relationship with social media.
But you're not on TikTok. I'm
Not
curious,
yet.
will you be going on TikTok?
I don't know. I mean, I think, look, I have had a very complicated relationship with social media, as you can probably imagine. And I also recognize the role that it plays in business. Part of it is, equally the work that you were talking about earlier. My husband and I spend a lot of time working on online harms, specifically surrounding protecting our children, not ours personally, but all of our children, for what they're susceptible to in the online space. So I'm sensitive to that. I also recognize that if you can show up in these spaces and be on the side of good, there is tremendous value in that also. So we're going to continue to expand the footprint in the social and digital space for the brand. So having started in January, I just started to explore and play in the same way that anyone else does when they're online. I just happened to do it with a little bit more attention on what I was doing.
All in all, I really enjoyed this interview. I feel like it was a really good mix of questions, of things that people are interested in, a little bit of personal, a little bit of business. And I feel like it really shows that Meghan is moving beyond, the actress, the celebrity, royalty. And it's really all about influence and community. And as she puts it herself, her goal is simple. It's to build something lasting, meaningful, and made to be shared. And I really feel like we're seeing all of those things come into fruition. Meghan also shared a little behind the scenes Instagram video of her time in DC and her flight heading back home to her kiddos.
You all already know how much I love a new Meghan interview day, and today is one of them. After her very fun trip to New York City, Meghan is now in DC, and she attended the Fortune Most Powerful Women Conference and did a little interview. And this interview was pretty business and as ever focused, so she shared a lot of things that she has shared publicly before, which are the things she's learned from her first year of as ever, the pivots she's made in her first year after selling out so many times. But as someone who listens to everything she ever says, I'm always listening for new information, and here are some things that she shared that I have never heard before. So she has publicly talked before about her decision to maintain boundaries on social media, which means not having her comments on and not looking at certain things. But I have never heard her talk about that in the context of how that protects her fans and her supporters. She said basically by not turning comments on, she is protecting us because she knows that we don't want to go into a comment section and find negativity. And so she intentionally did that to protect herself and also us, which then led her to she asked herself, how am I going to build community on social media? Because as I know personally, community used to be a huge part of why she was even on social media and why she shared. And so she said she had to be really intentional about how she could build a community on social media without compromising the peace of herself and her fans. She said, which I did notice this. I do notice this when it happens. So as ever, repost stories, which she says is an intentional decision on their part to show us that they are listening and they appreciate our support. But when it's her, she'll write a little message in her calligraphy on the screen as a way of being like, it's me, and I have a little message for you, and thanks for the support. The interviewer is the editor-in-chief of Fortune, and her name is Alison Chantel, and she asked some great questions, including the question of would Meghan ever join TikTok? And Meghan was like, ooh, I don't know about that. Which, Meghan, if this comes across your desk, come to TikTok. We love you. She also asked if we should expect a season 3 of With Love, Meghan, which Meghan did kind of dance around, which tells me either the answer is no or the answer is not public yet. Although she danced around the question a little bit, her answer was actually pretty cool because she was explaining that they're experimenting with different lengths of the content. Sounds like she's wondering if a 1 episode or whatever it is Christmas special might be more successful than an 8 episode season. And it sounds like things are going to be quicker and more compact than what we're used to. So I'm very excited to see that.
Meghan has won the Gold Award in the Business People and Entrepreneurs Shaping Culture category at the 2025 Signal Awards for her podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder. The 9-episode series featured interviews with female entrepreneurs from wellness, fashion, and tech sectors, discussing resilience, innovation, a work-life balance, and was determined by votes amid nearly 400,000 total ballots, which was a 126% increase from 2024. The win highlighted the podcast's appeal and the award's growing role in recognizing culturally impactful audio content. Congratulations to Meghan, Lemonada Media, and everyone involved in making Confessions of a Female Founder.
So Meghan's podcast, Confession of a Female Founder, won Best Podcast for Business People and Entrepreneurs Shaping Culture. And it wasn't just any award, it was Listener's Choice Award. So almost 400,000 people voted for Meghan to win gold. She won gold. This is the second time the podcast is winning an award. They had more people voting this year than in previous years. Also, check out the finalists that were in the same category as Meghan. Harvard Business Review. So when judges say Meghan's irrelevant, I just laugh, because in the real world, in real life, real people know her value. She's not irrelevant. They say, oh, it's the title. Oh, if she didn't have the title, she would not be winning all of these awards. But we know that's not true, because members of the royal family are winning these awards. And you know how some are saying, oh, she paid for it. Oh, she bought it. But this is listener's choice. You can't pay for this sort of thing. You can't pay for listener's choice. Actual people listened and voted. That's how many people, almost 400,000 people voted. That's not irrelevant. If there were ever anything called relevant, that's it. I know they're having a meltdown right now, because this woman, they keep expecting her to fail. They keep expecting her to go into oblivion. They keep expecting people to hate her and not respect her and all of that stuff. But she keeps thriving. She keeps winning, literally. And not just winning, looking beautiful winning. When are royal family fans going to give up? When are they going to accept the fact that nothing they throw at Meghan is going to stick? Nothing is going to bring her down. Listener's Choice Award, winning gold, that says a lot. Congratulations to Meghan, by the way.
Meghan is the definition of defined style, a clear point of view, and curating a capsule wardrobe that even when you go on a week-long journey to New York, your point of view on what you want to wear is so clear. You're able to mix and match pieces and still look absolutely chic and elegant, and as if you are putting new outfits together. And this I love, because it's like a pull from the Armani tuxedo suit that she was wearing, but this is a little bit more casual, just a little bit more business. And I love that you can see the through line between those two outfits. Then I loved this one that she came out, which was the combo color flip, where she was wearing gray with a black coat versus black with a gray kind of blazer. But she's utilizing the same pump over and over. Her accessories are the same when it comes to like her jewelry, her eyewear, sometimes her bag. And she just looks absolutely chic, elegant, like soft sophistication. And this is absolutely what I aspire to when I'm not in my pajamas, but when I'm actually like dressing for the day, for an event, for work, like whatever. She just gives off like, I am professional, but I'm going to look stylish. I'm going to look good. I'm going to look put together and absolutely gorgeous while I'm doing it. And she takes no prisoners with it and just absolutely pulls it off. And she's just like us, changing into a flat, out of her heels for the day to walk around the streets of New York. But this also just shows you where she's utilizing the same accessories over and over, that when you have a strong point of view in really solid pieces that you can mix and match, your wardrobe just really starts working for you versus against you. And then the absolute gasp I had for this dress, I love the simple strapless A-line. This is such a classic cut of a dress. I love that it's in like a heavier fall tweed fabric. And that is where like the interest is coming from, in this simple like pattern and texture. She just looks so herself, so confident, stunning. And in my eyes, her and Harry can do no wrong. She will forever be, and I will repeat it over and over, my personal style inspiration. And what she's been doing in New York has me absolutely in awe. Absolutely gorgeous. She just looks gorgeous.
Now, because we've been seeing so much of Meghan from Paris to New York to DC, there's a lot of coverage surrounding Meghan. and the vast majority of it is positive. From fashion to philanthropy, it's been a very heavy Meghan week when it comes to Meghan coverage. And of course, the usual suspects are triggered.
What's my beef with Meghan Markle and H? Let me tell you. Well, it's been a very eventful 24 hours, and I'm going to have material for months. Oh my God. So in case you didn't know, Duchess went to her very first fashion show in France, and it's a big thing. And apparently the devil wears Balenciaga.
I don't know, but I do want to know what your beef with toothpaste is. Toothpaste and brushing them, your teeth. People who absorb this content or who just love or get off on like the Meghan Markle hate, the Harry hate, much of what you call out about her are 100% projections, but also like the people who absorb this, do you ever stop and think, why am I agreeing, loving, absorbing the content of people who look like that and present a message in such a like cartoonishly villain-like way? It's always in this like, like they're literally cartoonishly evil. You have to think, you have to ask yourself, why is it that I find this compelling, worth watching, and why am I agreeing? That's not normal.
None of it is normal. Unfortunately, I feel like the world that we live in today seems to be hopped up on divisiveness and hate. I genuinely feel like there are some people who are like that. So that's why they spend a lot of time creating that sort of content about a woman that they say that they don't like. And there's a lot of people who consume that. Now, I don't know if you guys know about this, but there is something called like a YouTube, I believe it's Studio app that is meant for creators. And I tend to use it to see what's going on with my channel. So I'm able to respond to comments from there as well. I was sort of like scrolling on it and I noticed that there was a section trends. Yes, I think it's trends. And I clicked on it and it's supposed to give you an idea of the sort of topics that your viewers and other viewers who consume the content about whatever subject matter you're talking about is interested in. And I kid you not, 99% of the videos were very anti-Meghan. Some of those videos, a lot of them, were making claims with no receipts. It's a lot of conspiracy theories. These days, I don't really get as emotionally drained as I did before. Like my YouTube homepage doesn't really show a lot of that type of content because the algorithm has figured out that I'm not interested in that. So it doesn't show that to me. But here is this space on the app that's showing me, hey, here are the trends. If you're looking for things to talk about, these are the videos that are doing well. This is what you should do. And a lot of it is just so hateful. But they're going to continue to do it because the hate is rewarded. And not only is it just rewarded, it's amplified on a massive scale. None of it is normal. And I fear that it's not going to change because a lot of people make a lot of money being hateful towards Meghan.
The hypocrisy of this man. No disrespect to the stranger and her husband and everything that happened to them, but this guy couldn't be bothered when it was happening in his own family. The hypocrisy is stunning, actually. He's fighting back tears for a stranger's husband when we know from the Oprah interview and from Prince Harry's book, Spare, that they could have given a shit about their own sister-in-law and daughter-in-law when she was going through mental health struggles. Not only did they not give a shit about her, but they even made it worse by briefing to the media about her. He doesn't even deserve to talk about World Mental Health Day when he is enraged half the time and when he is briefing about his brother being a non-person and someone that he doesn't think about. He needs to go to therapy before he can celebrate World Mental Health Day.
I'm seeing a lot of people rightfully complain that when Prince Harry and Princess Meghan talk about their mental health, they get trashed, they get derided as, being weak and liars, and everybody calls them everything but a child of God. But when Harry's sibling does it, nobody says a peep. Like, he's just allowed to just do this kind of nonsense, whatever was going on here. But, and like, the funny thing to me is that, listen, I'm not here to make excuses for the British tabloid press or derangers or anything like that. But to be quite honest with you, I don't think people are even aware that Prince Harry's sibling has done this thing. I think the British tabloid press is aware, and they should be informing the people what is going on, given that this is a public servant and he does nonsense on taxpayer money. They should be informing people what he's up to, but they aren't. However, having said that, if you're a fan of somebody, and this is what derangers always, try to project, that they are fans of Prince Harry's sibling. But the truth is that they are not actually this man's fans. Like, even Kate fans, they're not Kate fans. They're just Meghan and Harry haters. They're specifically Meghan's haters. I don't think they even realize that their fave has done this. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. These people, royalists, they have more knowledge of Harry and Meghan's doings and whereabouts at any given moment. These people are not aware that Prince Harry's sibling has done this thing. If you ask them what Meghan's schedule, public service schedule was like for 2025, these people can give you note by note analyses, plural. They can tell you where she was on what date, what she wore, what she said, who was there, who hugged her, who got awkward with her. Like, like, imagine that being your legacy. Just this nothingness, where nobody even cares what you're up to. What's Amaya, as they say in my language.
This man gets on my nerves. So I am supposed to believe that the same man who called his own mother paranoid just a while ago now actually cares about mental health? Because his mother was out here airing it out in that interview, in that infamous interview when she called out the press and the royal family for the abuse she suffered, the threat to her life, and how incredibly scared she was, and for the right reasons. Her own son, William, this man, this thumb on foot, went on to say that she was paranoid. And I'm supposed to believe that he actually now cares about preventing suicide? We're talking about the man who instigated a whole smear campaign against his own little brother and his sister-in-law. But I am now supposed to believe that he's emotional about preventing suicide? We're talking about the same man who encouraged the press to diminish Meghan's experience in the royal family and to actually make fun of Meghan when she went on to express how she herself had dealt with thoughts of self-exiting while she was in the royal family and while she was pregnant. But I'm supposed to believe that this same man cares deeply about preventing. And not only that, it just dawned on me that it might be a way for the royal family or for William to not only appear better, in the press, but also to, like he usually does, copy Harry and Meghan. Because Harry and Meghan have a whole, organization created solely for the betterment of social media, to create a safer space. And they work with parents who unfortunately lost their kids due to harassment on social media and those things like that. They just won an award 2 days ago. And now all of a sudden, William wants people to hold him as a banner of representation of the prevention of suicide.
I recently finished watching With Love, Meghan Season 2, and something bothers me so much, and it's probably not what you think. I am so annoyed at how critical people are of this show. Like, it's a fluffy, fun, easygoing, easy watching reality show. It's just like, the pages of Town and Country come to life. I just don't get what people are expecting of the show. They're saying that she's not relatable. Like, she is a celebrity, an actress who became a princess or a duchess. Like, that's not relatable. Like, everybody's not gonna be relatable. It's just like, what do we expect of her? She went through this crazy thing, and she even told the public how she was so depressed and it was so difficult. Like, this woman now is just like hiking and doing crafts and like making recipes. Like, let this woman live. And I don't know if you want her to do something more like meaningful, or like, they already did that. They did the like big tell-all thing with Oprah. She does all of this charity work. Harry wrote the book Spare and like told all of this stuff. Like, they already did that. This is a different thing. You know, you think about like Martha Stewart or Rachel Ray or like people that do similar things, and I don't feel like they get the same type of criticism. And I feel like there's, you know, one big thing that's different about them, the color of their skin. I feel like people are so critical, and they say like, oh, it feels inauthentic. And it's like, well, she has been doing this type of thing for so long. She's telling you how, you know, she used to work at, I think, Paper Source, or, you know, like, she's been studying calligraphy. She had her lifestyle brand blog before I think she even was dating Harry, or at least very early. Like, she was doing this type of thing for a very long time. Like, you're asking too much of this woman who has already given so much to the public.
Love it. Straight to the point. I love this comment. Anne says, William and Kate can't cross over to a diverse group. The late Queen knew Meghan was gold, especially with the Commonwealth. But the jealousy. We've talked about this jealousy thing. Jealousy is a disease, y'all. And those who have it, get well soon. Get well soon. Because you know what? Nothing can ever fix that thing if you don't do the work. And we've even dated it back to Cain and Abel, the Bible. This is not a new thing. This thing has been going on since the very beginning. But I love this because, and Harry even said, I wish my family got it, that to people who look like me. And we're going to follow the people who look like us. It's that simple, especially if the ones who don't look like us don't care for us, or don't even want to try with the likes of us. And that's the conundrum here. And this is why I keep banging on about the PR, the strategists, the people who are in the ear of the king or the future king or whatever. It may have worked for the last 50, 100 years, 1,000 even, but it's not going to work now. Not with the diversity that exists outside of my window. It's not. And you know, I have it on such good authority, because when I was traveling recently, you know, I was talking to people, and honestly, it was unanimous that this thing can't go on like this.
Oh, child, not the gray sweatpants. Okay, hold on. Meghan, you gotta be careful out there. You know the girls like Kate and them, they be getting jealous. The gray sweatpants is crazy. Oh my God. Meghan in her bag for real, period. She got a man that's fine, got money in it as a prince. Okay. She is living every little girl's dream. Come on. It's actually nice to see Harry in a more relaxed fit, because we usually see him in a suit. And don't get me wrong, I love the suits. I love the suits, baby. Suits. The gray sweatpants hit different. Ooh, child. Look at him smiling at her. Oh, he's so cute. Find you a man that looks at you the way Harry looks at Meghan. Find you a man that looks at you the way Harry looks at Meghan, okay? I was about to say he got a brother or something, but I know his brother is. But yeah, this is so cute. I want to see more pictures of Harry like this. Meghan is feeding us, okay? She's feeding us.
And with that, we've come to the conclusion of today's video. Wherever you guys are, I hope you're having a wonderful day. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, hit that notification bell.